Good morning, crypto boomers, crypto maniacs worldwide. It's the voice of the blockchain here, Satoshi's big cousin, cryptography's finest, Champagne Crypto. Thanks for tuning in. I see Lucian in the box. I see Lee Banky in the box, as always. Kabooming worldwide. Guys, make sure you're touching the buttons for me. The like, to subscribe, the post notification bell, the ding ding, caress those YouTube buttons. Let's get to the front of the search results. Let the globe know that the boomers are still crip walking worldwide. We're still crip walking worldwide, sniping out the funny bunny indeed. Boom. Shout out to the bunnies out there getting sniped out the box. What remains here is a few good men. The crip walkers out here. Shout out to all the boomers entering the population. Make sure you're touching the buttons. Today we're talking about Trump appointing a crypto-friendly chief of staff. Trump has appointed a crypto-friendly chief of staff. We're going to be talking about that. Who is controlling Bitcoin Core? Came across an article there that's quite informative. I would like to share with you guys and more. But first, let me shout out all the crypto maniac soldiers, the 300 crypto Spartans that remain here, a few good men during this Arctic blast. Things are looking a little greener today on the field. It looks like the altcoins are grass-fed this weekend and beyond, hopefully. Let's talk about that as well as the rest of the boomers tune in to this live broadcast. I see Revolutionist. Good morning. I see Captain James, Lucian Bobak, Lee Banky, and the few good men that remain here in the population. Lee says Mulvaney was a great choice. Okay, I don't know much about him. I'm coming across this information today. We're going to be discussing it, but thanks for sharing. So apparently the boomers like him out there. Good morning to D-Rock Lizzo. I see you. Strong biceps, strong punches out there with the boxing gloves. I see only the crypto maniac soldiers remain out here, crip walking worldwide. We see an alternative frequency with the bits and the cryptocurrency blockchains as an alternative to the funny bunny financial legacy system that has plagued so many for so long. We see some light here at the end of the tunnel with the bits and some of these altcoins, perhaps not all of them. Cardano General saying he dropped another 1 ounce of gold on the Cardano today. So he's swapping out the metals for the blockchain. I'm not sure if I'm crazy about that. But I do respect your movement out there. Revolutionist is not playing games. He's one of the top 10% holders of our Cardano worldwide, apparently. And he's gunning for a castle out there in the United Kingdom. So let's send our positive energy to our crypto brother, Revolutionist. Let's check out the coin market caps today. Let's see how healthy things are looking. A little bit more green on the field, green on the pasture, on these pasture raised is all we're eating here, guys. Pasture raised beef on the markets out there. We got Bitcoin at 34.45, up 5.29%. The total market cap today is at 109 billion. So it's a little bit, a few more billies on top out there after the market almost dropped under 100 billion. Bitcoin dominance at 54.8. I'm still surprised at this Bitcoin dominance number. Now, I would have expected it to have increased more than it has already. 54.8. I would have expected it over 60 at this point with the meltdown that has occurred, the Arctic blast, the crypto winter, the frosty one that's blowing out there. I hope you guys are bundled up. I would have expected more people to consolidate into the bits, but that's not the case. Although the majority of the market, half of it is in the bits, and that's what we've always said here. Half of your bag, half of your portfolio should be in Bitcoin if you're crip walking. That is my personal opinion, and some of the boomers agree. Not everyone. I know Revolutionist doesn't care about Bitcoin. He's Cardano booming out there, and that's what it is. Every boomer needs to find their own way, and we respect that. Impatient Potato has entered the box. Good morning. D-Rock says, adjusted the bags on Friday, put more into his favorite altcoin. Kaboom to you. And that seems like a good move. Pick 1 or 2 altcoins is what we have said in our crypto winter survival tips. And, don't try to, chase every single altcoin because most of them seem like they're going to go ahead and crash and burn out there. So D-Rock adjusted his bags, and congratulations. CryptoZilla says the voice of the blockchain, nodes coming online. The more nodes coming online. Okay, thanks for letting us know. CryptoZilla, a long-range sniper out of Tokyo out there shooting at whatever moves. Indeed, good morning. Jerome is here. He says, I'm riding this bull all the way up. Shout out to Jerome. So you're bullish, okay? Champagne's not convinced for the short term yet. I'm not bullish for the short term. I do believe we're going to have to weather this Bitcoin frosty blast for some more months now. But hopefully we can get out of it sooner than later, because for the mid to long term, I'm a long-term kaboomer out here. I believe that this is the frequency that can be the alternative to the banking system, the funny bunny that we've experienced for so long. Revolutionist says, I'll be buying back my gold and more gold once Cardano booms. That's my plan, champ. And shout out to you. Hopefully you can buy and stack more of those gold bars out there. I'm not too fond of swapping out gold for crypto, maybe crypto for gold, you know, but you know, you're going hard on it. You're going hard on the Cardano, and I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it because I do believe Cardano, there's a place for it, and you're not the only one here speculating on Cardano. Being the first scientifically peer-reviewed blockchain out there as an alternative to Ethereum, an alternative to EOS. Let's see what happens to Cardano, guys. Hopefully it kabooms for revolutionists and the rest of the boomers out there. Indeed. We got Ripple there at 30 cents. It's up. Ripple's trash. Ethereum at $90. It's up as well, 4%. EOS now at number 4. EOS has taken back its spot. It's knocked out Stellar out of its number 4 spot. Now EOS is at $2.31. It's up 18.86%. I don't think EOS is going anywhere. I like EOS, although there is some holes in the boat. I'm liking it more than Ethereum right now. I'll keep it 1,000 with you guys. I'm liking EOS more than Ethereum, and let's see if EOS surpasses Ethereum in the mid to long terms here. We got EOS at a market cap of about 2 billion, almost 2.1 billion. Ether at 9.4 billion. It's still some time before EOS could surpass Ethereum, but it could happen. We got Stellar there at number 5 spot at 10 cents. We got Tether at $1.01. Litecoin at $28. Let there be light indeed. It's taken back its spot and surpassed both Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Satoshi Vision. So I'm liking what I'm seeing out on the pastures today. EOS taking back its number 4 spot. Litecoin taking back its number 7 spot, surpassing Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Satoshi Vision. Bitcoin Cash at 88, Satoshi Vision at 78. And we got Tron holding the number 10 spot there at 1 cent. Shout out to Cardano. Cardano's not going away, although it's lost some weight. It's back at 3 cents, and it's at rank number 11, right next to Monero, ranked number 12 at $42. Now, I like Monero, okay? This one's not going to go away either. I think there's a place for Monero. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, we spoke about a bounty being offered out there to those that can crack Monero and or Zcash. I think it's being placed or offered by the U.S. government, if I'm not mistaken. So, you know, it's a threat to them, guys. It's a threat. This is an alternative. It's a threat. And if you're still here in the box, you know what we're gunning for out here. The true alternative, some sound money here on the blockchain. Indeed. I have heard that EOS has a serious problem as it's too expensive for developers to fund their dApps. I don't hold EOS, but I'm just pointing it out. So you may want to look into it. You know, I've heard about that. I'm not sure how true or not true that is. There's different ways to acquire EOS to run your dApps. It could also be leased out there. And there's some functionality on EOS. I do like it. You know, that's an argument that can be made. But on the other hand, there is no cost for the users to interact with the dApp. So this is dumping the cost onto the developers as opposed to the users. Like something like Ethereum, in order to interact with the dApp, you need to pay gas costs. And that's not the case with EOS. So let's see if that alternative proves to be positive. Impatient Potato says EOS Scatter sucks. EOS Scatter is a plugin there on Chrome that allows you to access the blockchain. There's other ways to access the blockchain. I'm not particularly using Scatter, so I don't know if it sucks or not. I've heard nothing but good things about it. You're actually the first person that says it sucks, but I'll take your word for it. Anyhow, you can log in using other wallets. I believe EOS Voters one and EOS maybe Flare. I'm kind of going blank right now. I know there's another wallet over here. I think it's EOS Voter, but there's different alternatives to log in. Shout out to Holmes Kaboom. Derek McLean says, Champ, I want to see the Monero Zcash bounty article. Look through my prior videos. I talk about it, I think last week, if I'm not mistaken, that they're offering some rewards to crack the Monero and Zcash, and or I think both of them. somewhere in my last prior broadcast, it's somewhere there in my the description out there, Derek, if you want to go ahead and search. Lucian says Scatter is similar to MetaMask. Indeed, indeed. Scatter is very similar to MetaMask, and Scatter allows you to log into Ethereum, if I'm not mistaken. How I Made says EOS is making a comeback. Yeah, it's you know, I like to see it maintaining its position out there. You know, we saw Stellar creep up into the top 5 ranking, and it looked like EOS was slipping for a while, and now EOS is up almost 20% today. So don't discount EOS. I like EOS. I think they suffered a bit of a loss once Dan Larimer announced the possibility of him introducing another blockchain. And, you know, we passed that storm and EOS remains. So let's see. You know, again, this one has holes in the boat, and it's arguably more centralized than some would like, being that there's only 21 block producers, and there is a barrier to entry to become a block producer. Now, you know, revolutionists might like this one because it's a proof of stake coin as opposed to proof of work, and I know you believe that that's the future. So, you know, keep an eye on it. Keep an eye on it. Holmes is here. Derek is here. Lucian is here. Holmes says EOS is up about 20%. Indeed, we talked about that. EOS making a comeback, and How I Made says any thoughts on Waves? It always has a huge volume on Binance. I like Waves, and I know that you can create tokens on Waves, and there is some sort of a community there on the Waves platform. I believe you can launch decentralized applications there. I'm not sure if it's considered a 3rd generation or just a 2nd generation blockchain like Ethereum, but I've heard positive things about Waves, and I wouldn't discount it. It's been there for some time. You know, it's a silent lurker out there, so there's no negative feedback when it comes to the Waves out there. Indeed, as the rest of the boomers tune in. Let's talk about the news today that's positive on the networks, starting off with this crypto-friendly chief of staff appointment by Donald Trump. This is linked down below over there on ccn.com, being reported there on ccn.com. U.S. President Donald Trump has hired the prominent Bitcoin supporter Mike Mulvaney to be his new White House chief of staff. Donald Trump is one of the most polarizing people on earth, blah, blah, blah. Obviously, we know that. Donald Trump makes a positive appointment for a crypto industry. So in his tweet, Donald Trump himself, he said he's pleased to announce Mike Mulvaney, director of the Office of Management and Budget, will be named acting White House chief of staff, replacing General John Kelly, who has served our country with distinction. Mike has done an outstanding job while in the administration. Now, he is a Bitcoin supporter, according to the data that we're coming across here. He's quoted as saying, blockchain technology has the potential to revolutionize the financial services industry, the U.S. economy, and the delivery of government services. And I am proud to be involved with this initiative, says Mick, not Mike. It's Mick Mulvaney. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing his name there. It's Mick, not Mike. So his name is Mick Mulvaney, and he's a supporter of blockchain. Now, he hasn't said anything directly about crypto, and I do want to make a distinction here. There is a difference between just cryptocurrency and blockchain technology. You know, while some blockchains are cryptographic, not all of them are. So that's what it is. But hopefully, you know, this could positively impact the blockchain industry, the crypto industry. And we need more crypto-friendly people within the ranks of government that'll get out of the way and let it grow and not impede the growth of blockchain and Bitcoin with things like regulation or whatnot. And that's what it is out there. Shout out to How I Made, Lucian Bobach, Holmes, the revolutionist, Lee Banky. Lee Banky says, don't sleep on Litecoin. I'm not sleeping on Litecoin, Lee. I'll tell you, I'm still holding the bag out here, and hopefully it shines brighter than it has in past days. Revolutionist is asking, any boomers here stacking Elastos? Elastos is another alternative to EOS. And it's one I've covered in the past. I may have a video out there covering Elastos. I'm personally not on the Elastos train, but I remember doing some research into Elastos, and it seemed attractive. Good morning to Double X. He says, good morning, my crypto brothers. It's a green day. Indeed, it's a green one out there, grass-fed on the field, grass-fed beef, always organic. Stay away from those GMO coins like Ripple, guys. How I Made says the days of Coinbase pumping new coins are over. I think, yeah, that's way over. Just because a coin gets listed on Coinbase doesn't mean that it's going to pump as much as it would have back before. you know, when things were a little newer and Coinbase had more of a stronghold on the market. Right now, they're entertaining listing up to 20 coins, if I'm not mistaken. And there is speculation that perhaps maybe they may list Cardano, which I think would satisfy many here in the population of the chat box. Indeed. So Trump has appointed Mick Mulvaney out there as his chief of staff. He appears to be blockchain friendly, and he's quoted again as saying blockchain technology has the potential to revolutionize the financial services industry, the U.S. economy, and the delivery of government services. And he is proud to be involved with this initiative, says Mike Mulvaney. Let's see if this positively impacts. Just because they're saying that they're friendly doesn't mean they're friendly. You know, I'm not completely entirely convinced, but I'll tell you this, I'll take some positive news, and hopefully that it will inject a little bit more positive energy here into the cryptocurrency cipher. Indeed. I came across this other article. This one's a lengthy one over there on medium.com. Who controls Bitcoin? Who controls Bitcoin Core? And this is a long article. It's about a 14-minute read. I invite you guys to read it, those that are saying that China has complete control of Bitcoin, centralization or whatnot. And for those that are opposed to proof of work as well, this one but this one explains more in detail how the actual improvement process, how the development of the Bitcoin Core network takes place, how it's controlled there on GitHub by the developers or whatnot. And I encourage you guys to check it out. But let me go ahead and summarize this article and read for part from the conclusion here. Who controls Bitcoin? And I'm reading from the article linked down below. It's practically impossible to fully comprehend Bitcoin as a system, says this article. The definition, control of Bitcoin, the protocol, is like the definition of a language. Languages emerge spontaneously. The consensus over the meaning of words is organic rather than dictated by dictionaries. Much as dictionaries describe the phenomenon of a language rather than define it, so do Bitcoin implementations describe the language of Bitcoin with code. No one is forced to agree with the definition of a given word in a dictionary. Neither are they forced to agree with the code in a given Bitcoin implementation by running it. I thought that was important. And that's highlighted there on the medium.com article. I'll go on to read a little bit more. Languages are not governed by democracy, and neither is Bitcoin. While you may hear people make references to miners, nodes, developers, or users voting, there is no such mechanism that can enable a majority vote of any to coerce a minority of dissenters into accepting changes which they disagree on. Bitcoin is anarchy without rulers, but not without rules. I like that. Without rulers, but not without rules, says the article. The rules are defined and enforced by individuals participant on the networks. While the changes to the Bitcoin protocol itself are usually made via the Bitcoin improvement proposal process, even this is only a recommended best practice, and no one can be forced to follow it. It is merely a formalized way of trying to guide a change through a process of peer-reviewed and consensus building. And then I'll read the final paragraph here. And this is like a 15-minute read, but I found this article pretty solid, and I would recommend you guys to check it. As difficult as this is to explain and understand, it is a crucial aspect to Bitcoin's anti-fragility. If there was a single point of control, it would also be a single point of failure that would be exploited by powerful entities that are threatened by Bitcoin's success. Ultimately, each node operator governs themselves by ensuring that no one else on the network is breaking the rules to which they agree. This security model is the foundation for Bitcoin's bottom-up governance. Bottom-up governance. Core is not controlled by China, says Captain James. For those that are arguing that, I invite you guys to read this article and go ahead and give me your own personal opinion here. But this is a lengthy one, and I think it's got some valuable information. Good morning to Original Copy. I see you out there. Good morning to Dolphin 134. Unless funding comes in going into 2019, Charles Hoskinson will pull IOH Kane team off Ethereum Classic, it looks like. He said end of year update at 12:15. Okay, so unless the funding comes in for Ethereum Classic, it looks like Charles is going to pull the team off ETC. I don't think it's the only team working on ETC, but it's one of the bigger ones. And let me know if you guys have heard of this, because Dolphin134 is reporting here from the trenches. He said on the end of year update at 12:15, according to Dolphin134. That's interesting. Revolutionist says, I could agree that Bitcoin's proof of work is slightly centralized, as 3/4 of Bitcoin managed by just 7 mining companies. Also, mining is looking very unprofitable, and that's why he prefers POS long term. I can understand that, indeed. How I May say, yeah, it's nice to spread out your investments. D-Rock says, Bitcoin has rules, but no ruler. I like that. No face to a project, no customer support, no sales pitch. And it seems like D-Rock and I are on the same frequency here. I tend to rock with that quote as well. Kaboom to that. And Patient Potato with the LOL. How I Made It says, I want the days of crypto tribal to be gone, says How I Made. You know, there's always going to be some sort of tribalism everywhere, How I Made. It's just a matter of what the degree of tribalism is, whether it's high or low. Derek McLean says, what would Bitcoin's worth be if all governments decided to buy the rest of the circulating supply? Wouldn't it then defeat the purpose of decentralization? If the governments decided to buy the rest of the circulating supply, that would increase the demand, thus increasing the price. The Revolutionist says, Dolphin, I seen that Charles said Ethereum Classic is also becoming unprofitable and lacks incentive for programmers, says the Revolutionist, in response to Dolphin's comment that Charles and the team over there on IOHK will be pulling off their developers from Ethereum Classic. So that's breaking news. I don't know the information upon that, and you can chime in here and the population of the chat box and let us know more. If you're just tuning in, it's the voice of the blockchain here, Satoshi's biggest cousin, cryptography's finest. We're in here in the population of the chat box. What remains are a few good men like Revolutionists, like Derek McLean, like How I Made, Impatient Potato, D-Rock, and the rest of the boomers worldwide. Make sure you're touching the buttons for me, the like, the subscribe, the post notification bell, the ding ding. Let the world know that the boomers remain here on the field with the positive crypto energy worldwide. Kaboom to that. The value would go up if the supply was gone. Supply and demand. Let them, says D-Rock. Yeah, if people want to buy more Bitcoins, it's just going to show that there's a demand. Yes, but then no more new buyers could buy any, and that would kill liquidity. Yeah, but, you know, at the end of the day, is everybody going to buy all the coins? Now, listen, I mean, I'm not going to sell my Bitcoins to the government. So, you know, they're going to have to increase the price that they're offering if they want to go ahead and make that transaction happen. Supply and demand in there. So it is what it is. Shout out to Derek, D-Rock, Revolutionist, How I Made, an Impatient Potato. Guys, I'll take a few more comments and questions. During this holiday season, I'm going to go ahead and keep the live streams a little less in duration, less time in duration here. Just because I think I'm going to go ahead and enjoy myself over the holidays and probably take a little break. I was thinking of taking this week off, but then I said, the boomers need me. So let me go ahead and still do the broadcast. I'll do them a little shorter here, being that there's not much action going on right now. I think this quiet time for the Crip Walkers out there. It's just about hodling in the trenches if you're still here. And that's what it is. I don't think there's going to be any crazy movements as of late. I think 2018 is just about over, guys, and the boom that so many were expected didn't occur. Now, I was expecting a boom sometime mid-2018, but as we approached the fall and we saw the mathematics out there, it became evident that we were falling under the $5,800 support line that we had held for such a long time. And at this point, being at the price where we're at now at 3,000 and change, I do believe that we still have not found the support and things could go lower. But that's okay, because for the mid to long term, we're still kabooming here when it comes to the bits. D-Rock says, try selling an asset no one wants. It sits and starts to lose more value. The market is driven by the buyers and users. Indeed. The Revolutionist says, it's nice to have a green day, but still I was enjoying the falling prices. Revolution is stacking up on Cardano, doubling down. He has no fear out there, and he continues to buy like a savage. I got to commend you out there, Revolutionist. Holmes says, it's a Christmas miracle. Shout out to Holmes. Captain James says, those ERC20 ICO days made me mad paper. I made my first 3K on the ETH Ethereum fork. After that, I was hooked. Shout out to Captain James out there. And he was excited by those ERC 20 ICO days. Those things are over. I think ICOs right now, people are a little unattracted to them, being that there was a lot of funny bunny. So let's see what the future brings. Now I heard that there's TRC20 tokens. Now there's tokens on top of Tron or whatnot. And let's see. But again, if you're only into crypto for the profits, if you're valuing yourself in fiat, if you're valuing your wealth in fiat, I don't think that you can really call yourself a crypto maniac boomer out there. You know, sometimes shorting Bitcoin could be poisonous to crypto, and only approaching the crypto market for a profit is also poisonous to crypto as well. We're here, especially the long-term boomers, because we see the viability and the soundness of the monetary supply that could be placed on the blockchain. You know, we need some more sound money, and we need to expose the Wizard of Oz, in my personal opinion. Don't forget why we Crip Walk out there. It's not only for fast and quick profits, although if you're a first mover out there, you will profit as well. Captain James says he's in the alts for profits. He's held Bitcoin since 400 USD. There you go. And that's okay. And I'm not discounting people that are trying to make profits. It just shouldn't be the only reason. And, you know, obviously everybody wants to make some profits. Obviously, if you're going to not be in it to get some profits, probably then you're not going to profit. But again, I guess the point we're trying to make out here is that there should also be a bigger reason than just the profit, in my opinion. Revolutionist says, I will say that despite no one liking Ripple, I think they will take first place eventually simply because the banks have more than us. You know, I think the banks play like they have more than us, but the people have more power than some may believe. And I think the proof of that is the rise in Bitcoin price over the years has really shown that people do believe in an alternative, and the fact that Bitcoin took it from pennies on the dollar to $20,000, that is not bank driven, that's people driven. So while Ripple may go up, I'm not believing it at all. I think if you're into the blockchain, especially if you're into cryptocurrency, it's as an alternative to the legacy financial system. So Ripple doesn't seem like an alternative. It seems like an upgrade to the financial system, but definitely not an alternative. But again, yeah, you know how I feel, revolutionists, and I can understand where you're coming from. The banks have ruled so long that it's hard for anyone to believe in a future without them. But let the boomers lead the path out here. There is an alternative frequency. Our original copy says, exactly, look at France. Shout out to the Yellow Jackets. Good morning to Cliff Martin. Shout out to How I Made, says, any profits made is icing on the cake. I'm sick of government and banksters. And that's why we Crip Walk out there. We're sick of the government and the banksters. Good point being made there by How I Made. Original copy says the people are taking back control, and he's citing France as an example. Indeed, people are easy to manipulate. Banks are not, says Lucian Bobach. Indeed. Okay, that may be the truth, but you know, things don't come easy. Good things don't come easy. D-Rock says, I'm not counting on anything in the top 20 out, but some will rise and some will fail. Get yours and buy what's usable as currency. We know that D-Rock wants to see actual use case scenarios, and I'm not mad at you. I think that, you know, we need to see use case scenarios. I think the one that's being used the most really is Bitcoin. At the end of the day, it's the store of value. It's also the medium that's being used to buy all the other coins, and it sits kind of in the middle. Again, you know how my opinion is. I believe Bitcoin's already the standard global world reserve currency. It's just over most people's heads at this moment, but that will reveal itself sooner than later. Ripple is trash, says Derek McLean. I agree. Derek McLean says our governments are getting too big to fail. I hate it. We'll see. There's a change coming. There's a change coming. And if you guys were around for the 2008 financial crisis and you remember the frequency and the waves out there, then perhaps maybe you can believe in the alternative. Right now, things have been going up, 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 up in the markets when it comes to, you know, the traditional system. But it's not going to go up forever, guys. BTC bleeding out to the alts this morning. You know, some of the alts are going to move faster than Bitcoin when they do go up, but the majority are going to perhaps fail. Andy Warhol says Bitcoin is king, and I do agree with that. Let's see how long it remains king. Some are saying that, you know, Ripple's going to take it over, and I doubt that, but you know, everybody's entitled to their opinion. Captain James says, I need a store of value that the government can't freeze or use to bail out crooks. And there you go. Once more people understand that, I think more people will flock to the alternative cryptocurrency that is Bitcoin. Mike says Blocktivity info shows EOS is the most used crypto. Yes, we've talked about that before. Blocktivity.info, it's a great website that shows those blockchains that are most used. And EOS is probably, and if not the most used blockchain above Bitcoin and Ethereum. Sandro says the concept of it is what makes more interesting than the profit, says Sandro. The concept is what makes it more interesting than the concept, than the profit. I agree, Sandro. Derek says, I think the euro is going to fail sooner rather than later. I agree with that, Derek. Jam says, yo, champ, good morning, Jam. D-Rock says, more trading pairs on these exchanges will prove which coins can handle real transaction volume. I want to see massive volume moving daily. And that continues to increase, you know, through time. There was a time that there wasn't even $100 billion market cap. And I expect, and my goal is to see $1 trillion market cap worldwide with crypto right before the halving occurs. And I believe that that's possible. That'll make it about a 10x on the entire market. But that's what I expect. Where's all the $1,000 Bitcoin guys today? Kaboom. You know, they only come out when things are looking bad out there, Cliff. A lot of people like to, you know, act like they're right and spread FUD out there. It's easier to spread negative information than it is positive information. That's why a lot of the people on YouTube are having, you know, more troubles when things go up as well. 31 minutes on the broadcast, guys. If there's no more comments and questions, I'll go ahead and tune out. And I'll keep these broadcasts here during the holiday season closer to 30 minutes. I was planning on taking a break, like I said, this week, and maybe I will, but I'll still chime in with you guys and keep the positive energy here in the mornings. I promise you guys I'm not going to go anywhere, even with the markets down. Sometimes I don't even want to show up because it's kind of boring. I'm going to be honest with you. But then I remember the crypto brothers like Derek, like Cliff, like D-Rock, like Sandro, like Mike, like Captain James, like Andy Warhol, and I'm reminded of why we still crip walk. Not only for the profits, but also to snipe out the funny bunny legacy financial system that has plagued us for such a long time. We want a better future for the friends, family, the children, and the rest of the animals on the farm. Derek says, do you think a recession will help or hurt crypto prices? I could see it doing either. I think ultimately a breakdown in the legacy system will force people to look at alternatives even more, thus raising the demand of cryptocurrencies, Derek. That's what I think. Captain James says, kaboom, $1 trillion market cap would be so nice. Take a break, bro. We'll be here. Indeed, Captain James, I appreciate that. Thank you. Andy says, keep it coming. Thank you. Haha, Crip Walk for life, says Sandro S. Indeed, shout out to my walkers out there, my few good men that remain here in the field. I know you guys, if you're still rocking with champagne here, after what's happened this year in the Arctic blast or whatnot, I know you guys are definitely crypto boomers, and I appreciate all you maniacs out there worldwide. You guys give me energy and you keep me going. So I'm going to keep coming here in the morning, keep booming, keep doing these second broadcasts on Fridays. Last Friday we talked about this, you know, during the self-improvement chats that we do on Friday, we talked about no fap. Make sure you're not fapping out there. Stay sharp with your blade out there. We talked about crypto diet, exercise, and just ways to become a better boomer, because I need all the men out here becoming better boomers, finding alternative ways, alternative methods to the traditional methods here to become better men. Shout out to How I Made, Cliff Martin, Revolutionist, Sandra West. I like these daily chats, and I keep stacking for my kids, as this could make many millionaires, says Revolutionist. Thank you for letting me know that you like the daily chats. And, you know, I'm going to keep it coming, guys. I think we need it. I see only a few YouTubers still doing it out there. And arguably, they're not doing it how we're doing it. The original crypto maniacs, the original boomers. Now everybody in the forums calls themselves boomers out there. Just remember where you heard it first out here. Sandro says, eat butter and bacon. Indeed, I had my bacon this morning already. So shout out to you. How I Made says, can't wait till South Park makes an epic episode about Bitcoin. He and Butters will make their own Ethereum mining ring to take over the world. Shout out to How I Made. Derek McLean says, Revolutionist, let's hope so. I would love a nice meal in the bank. D-Rock's asking, what will happen first, Cardano 10 cents or Litecoin at 100? That's a good question. I have no idea. I would say I hope Litecoin at 100 because I'm holding a bag of Litecoin. But I can see Cardano going to 10 cents as well. Either or out there. And, you know, shout out positive energy for both Lights and Cardano. We have both bag holders here in this population of the chat box. Champagne is the original boomer, says Sandro S. I'm glad you recognize that, Sandro. Thank you. Revolutionist says, Derek, we will get there, man. Thumbs up. Cliff Martin says Cardano to 10 cents. There you go. You got an answer out there, D-Rock. On that note, I'm going to let you guys go, and I'll be back. I'll be back tomorrow morning with the good crypto word. Make sure you're tuned in, touched all the buttons. You're the like, the subscribe, the post notification, bookmark my page, and check me out in the mornings. It's the voice of the blockchain here, Satoshi's biggest cousin, cryptography's finest, your favorite YouTuber's favorite YouTuber, Champagne Crypto. Thanks for tuning in.